1. Mark. Hello, I am Gremlin the Third.
Hi, I'm Steampunk Girl. Or Steampink Girl, apparently.
Let's do this again.
Okay, let's do this again, even though we're live and everybody's listening. But let's
3, 2, 1. Mark. Hi, I'm Gremlin the Third.
Hi, I'm Steampink Girl.
Oh, good, you managed to read the auto cue.
Yeah, I know my auto cue's working this day. So, do we have an auto cue? Well, I suppose we could, technically, if we wanted.
We could do, but as your name is in front of you on the screen and you can't read it, it's not good.
Oh, I'm tired and grumpy.
No, you're grumpy because you lost.
I lost
You lost at Hearthstone.
like 8 times in a row. Sorry, I get a little bit grumpy after 8 loses. I have gamer rage. It's a condition. I have a note from my doctor saying that please excuse Kitten from any gaming any gaming rage because she gets gaming rage.
Maybe that's another topic for another thing. But today we're on to gaming balance. What is gaming balance? And is having true gaming balance a good thing? Because that's the thing which a lot of people say, and I hear this harping on and moaning about. You know, I play a lot of LOL and things like that, and everybody goes, the game's not balanced, the game's not balanced. But in reality, if a game's balanced, it becomes boring.
It's not true.
It is true.
It's not
Perfectly true. Think about it this way, right? The only game
Rubbish.
in the history of the world which is pure balance is the knife round on Counter-Strike. Because that on that level, that everybody is completely equal. Nobody has any added perks, anything else. Everybody has a group of knives and they go round.
I'll give you a game that's perfectly balanced.
Go on then.
Chess.
Chess is not. No. Even that's not balanced because a person has to go first.
Yeah,
so
but
one person has the first move.
one person has the first move, but after that it's completely balanced.
Unfortunately, that has yet to be made into a computer game
Yeah,
of
but
which everybody in the world plays.
Every computer game we ever play is just an advanced game of chess. Or an advanced game of rock, paper, scissors, if you really want to look at it in a thing.
That's just your excuse when you lose.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not.
It is.
It's true, though.
Right, okay, let's think about it in like World of Warcraft, for example, or any MMO, because you always have one class, that one spec,
And they
that
haven't
one
changed
build
balance.
at that time.
And that's
which
why that's why the game, for me, doesn't work, because they haven't changed that balance.
But then what's the point? What's the point if your mage pumps out the same amount of damage as a hunter or a melee DPS of some description?
Because then it comes down to skill. If it's balanced, then it comes down to skill. If it's not balanced, then it's not about skill. It's about who's got the most powerful character. If you get it completely, nicely balanced, then it's all about the person's skill.
Yeah, but then how do you define skill? If everybody does the same amount of damage, then it's going to be based on utility.
No.
Of course
it's going to be based on skill and who presses the buttons in the right order. Then it's about skill. It's about actually you coming down to the wire and being able to make your moves. If you're saying that if you have an unbalanced thing, right? So say I can't believe we're talking about World of Warcraft because I fucking hate that game, right?
I'm just using it as an MMO description because most people have played it.
Okay, right. So you got World of Warcraft, right? I don't know the current meta, so don't shoot me because I couldn't give a flying fuck. But the truth is, right? If you have a paladin, right, and you have a mage, right, and say that paladin cat is the overpowered one, right, and can just wipe the floor with the mage every time. If they both have all the same gear, all the same stuff, everything, and somehow, and somehow, okay, here's an even better one, right? So you got the paladin and the mage. They all have the same amount of gear, level, everything's there, and the paladin always beats the mage because his character has some extra points that basically it gives him the advantage. Okay? So they haven't balanced it, so there's an imbalance there, right? Now, I'm not saying, so say one of his spells, so they work out the amount of damage output, you do all the balance, and you work out that actually a paladin does more damage, right? Now, if that damage was based on, say, something like range, right, where the mage can outrange him, so the trick for the mage would be to stay at a distance, and the paladin has to close in, then that's skill, right? But if it's about clicking buttons, and that paladin can do the same spell over and over and over, and do damage, and just know that no matter what that mage does, he's going to beat him, right, he's going to win, then that's not balanced. There's no balance there.
But there's very few games which actually have that.
There's loads of games like that, fucking tons of them. Loads of really broken games where there's one character that's more powerful than any of the others. Look at fucking Skyrim when it first came out. The Archer. Everyone else is running about with warriors and stuff. The Archer. I just sneak up behind people and do 4 times damage. Win. Right?
Yeah, but that's just a that's just a game. That's an RTS, and then while it's balanced everything else, you get your own enjoyment out of the game depending on who and what you are doing. I'm more talking about multiplayer games. So Hearthstone, the 1,000,001 MMOs that WoW kills off.
Hearthstone's really unbalanced because
the MOBA and everything else.
Because it's not about skill; it's about who can fucking buy the most cards. I mean, even in beta right now, it's about who either A, you have basically the casual gamer, right? There's two types of gamers. You get casual gamers, right, which it seems is now Xbox and stuff is kind of focusing on, and then PC gamers are for the sad little fucks that sit in their house day after day, getting fatter and fatter and fatter, more spotty and spotty. And I'm not saying every PC gamer's like that, but we all know there's cunts out there like that. And they are the little bastards that sit down and fucking do all this theory crafting. I fucking hate theory crafting. To me, theory crafting is like cheating. It's like card counting, right? It's like going to a casino and card counting, right? It might not be technically cheating, but the casino don't fucking like you and they'll chuck you out, right? Because you're a dick, right? If you want to go and card count and fucking steal all the money off people, that's great. I don't particularly like casinos, so that's not maybe the best example, but in truth, I think it's really shit. I think it's completely broken. The system's like card counting, when, for fuck's sake, right? It's completely broken in the way of, how things work, how people play, and how they do it. It's a system where some little fucking arsehole sits down and goes, I'm going to sit and get my cards and work out how many fucking, okay, so that does 6 plus 6 DPS, and if I take the mass of that and I carry the one, and right, and these dicks sit there for days doing this shit, right? And all it does is just like, so they know the most powerful cards in the game, they know the most powerful combos, and they sit there and they use it, right? Then what happens is, they win. Doesn't matter what you do against them, because there's no balance there. There's no counter to that, because they've spent 8 days fucking working it out. So you come along as a casual PC gamer. Yeah, I play more games than PC, but I want to play games. I don't want to sit in front of a fucking mathematics fucking sheet, fucking Goodwill Hunting fucking board working out formulas and shit. Fuck that! I want to play games. I don't want to have to sit and play some fucking nerd dickhead, right? Who I have to sit there and fucking deal with for 3 hours. Who I have to sit and play against them constantly, over and over, these dickheads. Who I have to sit and fucking, like, work out the maths and shit. I don't mind doing a bit of maths in the game and, building my card and my deck. For example, in Hearthstone, right? It's called Hearthstone, isn't it? Because I keep calling it Hearthfire, because I've been watching History Channel about Hearthfire. Anyway, I don't want to fucking deal with that. I don't want to have to spend 6 hours fucking dealing with this pseudo fucking math bollocks that somehow these little arsehole nerds who just spend all their time doing that are going to come in. And as a casual gamer or someone who just wants to play, that's why I don't play these games like Magicka and fucking, Magic the Gathering and fucking and Hearthstone. Now I thought, well, maybe this is going to be a bit more balanced. Maybe, see, the problem is that they don't create balance. There's always one deck or one system, and there's all these rares and stuff. And the problem is that they're buying them. I'm not going to spend 20 quid on a fucking extra deck of cards so I can get another deck of cards so I can dissolve them to build new fucking cards. I don't want to spend my 20 quid on that. I don't mind buying the game. I don't mind maybe paying a subscription to the game, which no doubt fucking Blizzard's going to do because they're fucking rip-off merchants. I don't mind it. I'm not entirely happy about that payment model, but that's not my choice. This whole microtransaction, I'm going to buy my fucking way up the ladder, and it's like, well, fuck that. So, if I go and play a game like Counter-Strike, if I go and play a game like that, it's balanced. You don't get level ups. You don't get fucking things. You just get, everyone gets a base character. You can choose between what gun you use, right? And then depending on what gun you use and which situation you're going to win, right? But that takes skill. You need to work out what that does. And you need to take the skill and the time to do that. But it doesn't, there's no, there's no buying, there's no maths, there's no spending 8 hours sitting down the fucking, in the fucking mathematics room with all your fucking geeky mates working it all out.
Stand there saying that, look, that's how all these guys do it.
It's
not true. There's loads of guys who just sit there and go, okay, right, I'm going to build a completely troll deck, and then they'll go, well, actually, if I combo it with this, and then I combo it with that, okay, then you do that. Right, the only downside of Hearthstone, and any card game, come to think of it, is it depends on if your build defines on, I need these starter cards to get going. I need these cards in order to make it work. And even in a random deck of 30 cards, your chances of drawing the ones that you need early are slim. Because you've just got the pure maths of it. So, you're sitting there, you're but the skill in card games is building a deck which isn't just, well, I have to do this nuke and I win, but if it doesn't come out that way, I'm buggered. The trick is to have enough strategies and enough variation within that to do it. And that's the problem we get. That's the problem when everybody views it as balance. It's not balance. There's a certain amount of balance in the fact that you find that there are decks which people make which just will win and abnormally number of times. But then game is normally destroyed.
Borderline autistic. The people who win are really good at these games are borderline autistic. We've played card games, right, outside of the computer game world, right? We've played with the people who are into these sort of games, you know, the card games. Munchkin's a little bit different, but sometimes people take Munchkin too far, right? And it kind of kills the game, you know? It's like, you said it again, it's like about having this counter, but that's all about maths. It's not about skill. You know, it's not a game of chess.
That's the skill.
See, League of Legends, for example, right?
Okay.
Right, LoL, for me, is like a game of chess. Characters need balance, but I think one thing I'll give credit to Riot to is I think they really try and work on getting that balance just right. Yeah, there's some characters that are overpowered, but there's always a counter to it. There's always working, you know. And when you're rank picking, but the truth is there's a balance there, and it's like, you know, 5v5s or 3v3s are to me like an advanced game of chess, where, you know, you've got a lot more variables, but it's chess. It's still a strategy. It still comes down to skill. It doesn't come down to 2 + 2 is fucking 4, so I'm going to times this by 6, carry the 1, make that 6, and realise, you know, Hearthstone, they forget half the people are probably working out what the mathematical probability of 7, right? So it's 1 to 7, so what's it, 3.5, right? So I need to have cards between 3 and 4 because they're the most likely to come out. And there's already people talking about having fucking math cards. You were talking about it when I was building my deck, that I need this math card. It's all about it, and I'm sorry, but when a game comes to the point where you have to fucking sit outside the game and sit and work out shit, then it's no longer a game. It's a job.
Say that. You can't say that and do that, because if you just overload what you're referring to there is like the mana costs of your cards. And if you sit there and go, oh, well, I like all these level 7s, yep, let's have 20 of those. Oh, well, I'll have a couple of these ones. You're just going to fuck yourself. Yeah. Now, this is where the problem with balance, and everybody moaning about characters and balance, and in every game, you know, you get it in Dota, and, you know, there are characters in Dota which have abnormally, Batrider I know is quite, I'm not, my entire knowledge of Dota is limited to TI3, so I'm probably saying shit, which is completely wrong now, but who knows. But Batrider, for example, Batrider had literally 100% participation in TI3. It was either banned or it was picked. So, now, does that mean that that's a good balanced character because he always works, or does that mean he's broken to buggery, and therefore, if you don't ban him, you've got to pick him?
Well, that's it.
And LoL had that. LoL had that was dead.
So why can't you ban cards in Hearthstone? Would that not make it more favourable? You could go through your opponent's deck and strike out like 5 cards.
Yeah, but then what would they do? Would they have to go back in and put in another 5, and then you just keep doing that?
No, you just have like a ban thing, like in LoL. Basically, you get an extra set of 5 cards, right? And then you get a selection of all your cards in your deck. So you place your deck, and then your opponent can go and pick out 5 cards that he doesn't feel are there. That would make it more balanced, because then you.
Yeah, but okay, then so that means me and you. I get rid of your polymorphs, and I get rid of your plane bursts, and I get rid of like your arcane, your stupid explosiony things, and then sit there and go, well, okay, then I've won now, because I know that the only things that concern me in your deck is your CC cards and your magic damage, because I can't stop it because I play a hunter. But my hunter deck is all about.
But then I remove the things that you used. I use what I've got in my deck to then remove yours and then play a skilled game. Then it's about skill. It's not about who's got the most massive card or whatever. It's skill.
But your same argument still counts, because you pick 35. The other player goes, well, I'll remove 5. It's still a case of making sure that you've got. You could even argue that it's even better that way, because you could sit there and go, all right, then I will put 5. I'll put Deathwing as one of my cards.
Fair enough. So then, okay, fair enough then. Then, if that's the case, then it's still math-based. And I just can't. I don't want to play a game where I'm going to have to sit and go online and look at what deck I should be playing. I mean, that's the truth of it. Most people are not going to sit there and spend the time. So when they come up against people like this, it's come up with people like this all the time, because these are the type of people that play these games. So your either choice is either get into the maths club, go back to fucking college and go and start doing your maths, or you start dealing with, you come up with a solution to stop people from,
I don't
stop
think.
people from theory crafting in the way that they do. I think you need.
Well, you can't, can you? Because theory craft